What's the outlook for the Russian economy this year?
We believe in a general acceleration of the growth. GDP growth was a disappointment last year. It came at 1.3% for the full year. But now we think the economy has bottomed out and it will accelerate up to 2.5%, maybe 3% in 2014.
And what are the key drivers of the economy likely to be?
Consumption is likely to remain the most important driver. We saw that last year, even though growth was weak, consumption held up reasonably well. We think consumption will continue to be an important, probably the most important factor. But export will be increasingly important this year because external demand is picking up. We're seeing how the global economy is recovering, and also because the ruble has depreciated recently, making exporters more competitive.
What does the developments in the Ukraine mean for Russia?
It means a lot sentiment-wise and also indirectly, but the direct importance for the Russian economy is not that big, even though it is an important trading partner. But the Russian economy is so much bigger, so but it's an important transit country for Russian energy, even though Ukraine may not be the final client. A lot of the energy is transiting through Ukraine, and also sentiment-wise, we're seeing how these countries are very close. There is a Russian element in also in the negotiations about where Ukraine is heading in terms of trade relations. So sentiment-wise, it's quite important.
How do you think that Russia will perform compared to other BRIC countries this year?
In terms of economics, I think Russian growth will certainly be lower than in India and China, and it should be because Russia is a richer country. But I think one interesting thing is that the Russian economy, which I said before had been a disappointment, we think they will accelerate. So the trend will be a positive one. I even think that growth may surprise on the upside, even though it may end up at 2.5% or 3%. Whereas the Chinese economy, for instance, which is around 7.5%, will be flat, meaning that it will grow another 7.5%, which is very high in absolute terms, but we may not see the same dynamic in China. Brazil, I think, will have a similar development as Russia. Growth is now picking up from a relatively low base.
How will the oil price affect Russia in 2014?
The interesting thing is that I don't think oil price will be a big issue this year. We see how the oil price tend to affect the ruble and the equity market quite a lot when it moves in either direction. But we think, and I think consensus believes, that oil price will stay around current levels. May fluctuate $5 or $10 per barrel either direction, but I don't foresee any major change in the oil price, which also means that it will give support to the Russian budget, but it will not be a driver of stock market or ruble movements.
What's the long-term growth prospects for the Russian economy?
I think the economy, if you talk about potential growth, I think it should be able to grow around 3% in the next couple of years, and that's under a selective reform scenario. If Russia would go out and do more ambitious structural reforms, and some of them are long overdue, I think they could easily grow closer to 5%. But again, that's not what I'm seeing right now. So for this year and next year, next couple of years, I would say 3%, driven primarily by consumption, but also supported by energy exports.